Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talk in Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Friday night press conference. That's right, the show that takes you from the week and puts you into the weekend. It's finally back with us. The weekend is here. On Wednesday's show, I said 50 hours to go. Well, we've made it through those 50 hours, and we're now staring at another fixture. It is, of course, Fleetwood away. A must-win game, if ever there was a must-win game. Surely, let me know what you think and feel as we head into the fixture. We'll break down some of what was said at the press conference this week. I'll get the thoughts and feelings of the contributors, Prediction League, everything else all wrapped into one. And, of course, Nightmare becoming a YouTube member. We've got Lee Brown, good evening. Ben Hobbs, Colin Plum, Mike D, Callie, the King, Jeremy. And as Cruncher rightfully says, get those... yellow and green hearts is the only time I'm going to say this in that chat. R.A.P. Warne, absolute icon of the game, gone too soon. In fact, you know what? He doesn't know I'm going to do this, but we're going to start right there. I'll bring Cruncher in. He's part of our Talking Cricket team. It would be wrong to not start and address it and speak about the untimely passing of an absolute cricket legend. You don't have to know cricket to know Shane Warne.
Just blown away with it, Martin. You know, Budge sent me a message saying Warnie's gone to bowl with in the clouds, and I thought that can't be true. So I looked on social media, and I'll tell you what, even now, I just cannot believe it. You know, You don't, like you just said, you don't have to be a cricket fan to know who Shane Warne is. But listen, I'd say the greatest cricketer of my generation that I've known. And it's a real sad day. You know, 52, Martin, you know, what age is that? And I think on Sunday, look, thoughts to his family. He's got 3 kids. Sunday, we're going to do the cricket show at 9 o'clock. We'll do a proper
absolutely
then, because I just think now it's just shock. It is, isn't it? It's just
absolutely, yeah.
I can't get my head around it. I still can't get my head around it, and it doesn't feel real. But yeah, it's just shocking.
Absolutely. The greatest spin bowler I've ever seen, says Kelly. Unbelievable skill. Yeah, absolutely. He transcended sport. And as I say, you don't have to know cricket to know who the Aussie legend Shane Warne is, and stop me in my tracks. And, you know, I'm not the biggest of cricket fan. So just an untimely. But we're here to discuss Ipswich Town. The weekend is here. It's among us. I called it a must-win, if ever a must-win. Is it a must-win?
They're all must-win games now, aren't they? The position we're in. We're playing catch-up. We're in a mini-league, but we're 6 points behind. So, like you said, probably 8 games we need to win, don't we, out of 11? And that might not even get us in even then, Martin.
No, absolutely. It could require a little bit more than that. But if you're calling it a must-win, I'm going to go ahead and believe that you are going for a Ipswich Town win on the Prediction League week 27. This week you've got Fleetwood versus the mighty Super Blues, Colchester versus Port Vale, Cambridge versus Shrewsbury. Callie commended me on Wednesday's show, Cruncher, for calling it Shrewsbury, not Shrewsbury, and Norwich versus Brentford. It is Shrewsbury, isn't it? Not Shrewsbury.
I say Shrewsbury. Yeah, Shrewsbury.
Shrewsbury, yeah, absolutely. Norwich, great chance for them to actually finally get a win, isn't it? Brentford?
Yeah, well, I was chatting to Colin, I think, yesterday, and he was saying about they should have played a full team at Liverpool. And I said, it's a bigger game. That tomorrow is a massive game for Norwich. If they can have any chance, it's a bit like us, you know, looking to get in the playoffs. We're coming from behind, and they're coming from behind as well, Martin. They're playing Brentford at home, who are... When did Brentford last win a game? They're on an absolutely stinking run, aren't they?
They're in free fall, aren't they?
Yeah, so I'd go Norwich 2-1.
Norwich 2-1. Okie dokie. Well, there you go. 4 fixtures. Link is in the chat. Get involved. Free to enter. Takes 60 seconds. And by the way, Jay Brace, you have won Football for Brains, the quiz book by Stephen N. Please do come forward and claim this wonderful, wonderful prize. I do like to get in on this day in. And on this day, we'll feature it. It's now you may have seen a little bit of me lining it up before the show, so I'm not going to ask you if you know of the game, but I'm going to ask you. The answer is probably, of course, an emphatic yes. Were you at this fixture, Ipswich Town versus Bradford City?
Sunday, Martin. Yeah, I was at the game. It was on Sky as well, live on Sky.
Was it really?
Yeah,
yes, it was. Sunday. Of course, it was. Martin Tyler.
Down. Benito Carbone had scored. There you go. Look, Roycer.
Yeah. Roycer at his best.
Hello.
Absolute.
Look at that
finish. And a fine head of hair. Look at that.
Yeah,
I did love a good hairstyle. But yes, obviously this is famous for. Where's Andy? Isn't that O'Brien who went to Newcastle afterwards?
I think that is him. I think you're right. Cuts in. Gary Walsh in goal.
Gary Walsh in goal. Obviously famous for the Herman Hreiderson crowd dive.
Even though he didn't score the goal.
No, he didn't, did he? Was it Birchall scored?
Mark Birchall. Birchall. Just flicked off his head, didn't it? He was off. Herman was off. He thought, that's my goal. I'm in the North Stand. Just over. That was just over from where I sat then.
He was off and he dive bombed it, or he swam dive.
Great days, weren't they then?
Oh, absolutely tremendous days. And if you're.
Have you not got Royce's second goal, the free kick?
Possibly, but I won't be able to find it for. I mean, I've got the whole game. I've got that's actually my footage as a part of the road to what was it called? The Road to Europe.
Road to Europe on the DVD.
Yeah, I've got it on the computer. I should probably stamp my little logo in the corner. But if you're driving up to Fleetwood tomorrow, obviously you'll now be thinking of that great time. You'll be joining them in Fleetwood, Cruncher. What time are you
going to Highbury? When we go to Highbury,
off to Highbury. Absolutely.
Yeah, not quite the same. We're going to watch Dennis Bergkamp and Thierry Henry when we're in the Premier League.
No, it's not. No,
we're going to watch Toto Enciala and Ellis Harrison.
Absolutely. But what time are you setting off?
Well, I'm working in the morning, but I'm finishing early, so probably about between 9:15 and 9:30. Hopefully, the traffic will be a lot kinder than it was.
9:15 to 9:30. Well. At that time, I can guarantee you the one thing the Mogul will definitely be doing is probably catching the Z's. Matthew Phillips, can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Good stuff. I can. Yeah, I managed to just unplug everything just before we went live on air. So
perfect. Always the great thing. Get in your effing car, Cruncher, says Mike D.
Yeah.
Russo was brilliant, says Roy Clark. So the game was on Sky. It was a Sunday.
Game.
Were you actually at the game, Matt?
I was there. It's one of my favourite town games. Yeah, the Herman splash dive into the North Stand.
Why is it one of your favourite town games?
Just because, I don't know, it just felt like we was actually on a charge for the Champions League at that point. And it felt like we were going to do it. It was like, everything you don't, well, maybe you're feeling it a little bit in terms of in the third tier and feeling a bit resurgent and connected with the club. But Rich will echo what I'm saying, I'm sure. It felt like we were going to finish top 4, didn't it, Rich? That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that was that. We were 1-0 down at half time, but I think during that season, you never worried, did you? Bradford were they were struggling, weren't they, Matt? Then, so
yeah,
1-0 down at half time, come back and won 3-1, and we were on the road to Europe.
Yeah, it was great. There's just a buzz. I was such a buzz.
Now we're on the road. Now we're on the road to nowhere.
Now you're on the road to Fleetwood.
On the road to Fleetwood, and possibly from there, who knows? A playoff semi-final does it?
Let me echo what Rich was saying about Shane. Unbelievable. I'm reeling from it myself. Rich called me and then texted me, and I couldn't believe it.
Also, Rodney Marsh as well.
And Rodney Marsh.
Rodney
Marsh today as well.
Was it Rodney Marsh? Not Rodney Clark. I thought it was Rod Clark.
No, Marsh.
Rodney Marsh.
No, Matt. He was the first Australian wicketkeeper to score a Test century.
Was he? I always think of him back in those, like, you know, when the first coloured clothing came out and you used to watch it. Remember those games?
I don't know if you've seen it, Gov. It was really strange because Shane Warne's last tweet,
yeah.
Was
how
to
life
the
works
family
sometimes.
And it's just, you think, it's just,
yeah,
I can't
that's
get
how
my head
life.
around it. Life is just so cruel sometimes.
We must grasp it, and to do so, it seems fitting to say it is now 20 to 8, 20 to 9, which means your weekend officially starts here with Away Day beers. Grab a beer or an alcoholic beer, raise it to the sky. What are we drinking today? All Boncho.
Bit of Boncho tonight.
Being in the press this week, obviously, with what's going on. Matt, what are you drinking?
Well, we was out for the father-in-law's 70th birthday on Wednesday in London, so I had a few drinks then. So I wasn't going to drink tonight, but I have I've gone back to the red wine this evening. I was going to have a lemonade.
Is it a Romanian?
The red wine's out.
Yeah.
Is it a Romanian?
No, Australian. Fitting for Shane.
Absolutely. Yeah. So get those beers out. Awaydaybeers.com. Combines two loves: beer and football and beer. What more in life do you need? Freddie Sears all day long. Absolutely. That's what we want tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Away Days. Freddie Beers.
Freddie Beer, yeah. Get on the Sears. So we want pints and points tomorrow. Plenty of points. McKenna said it was his knee out for 2 to 3 weeks. That's Lee Evans. Oh no, sorry, Tyree Simpson. He's also injured at the moment. The injury's starting to mount. Although I don't think you'd have seen Simpson. I've had too much Simpson talk this week. I'm going to be brutally honest. For a player that's not played,
it's always the way when these players are not involved in the first team, they become better players.
Or go somewhere else, like Flynn Downs.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and he's getting rave reviews. I know the Fisherman's not a fan, but Flynn
saw that
rave reviews, and I wouldn't be surprised. The talk is he might be in the Premier League next season, and I think Town Matt have got a good sell-on clause as well.
Oh, nice. Okay,
so good.
He had to go though, didn't he? He just wasn't. He wasn't. He didn't want to be here, did he? Palace come in and his head was turned, wasn't it?
Good luck to him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Good luck to him. I thoroughly. Although I think I did say Flynn Downs would play in the Premier League before Andre Dazelle. Callie didn't like that. He disagreed with me.
Might play the same time. Don't know.
They might be the same time. No, my luck. I might stumble into it. Right. What about players that are playing well? Wes Burns, obviously, he's in a bit of a purple patch of his career. Looking at the stats, scored the most amount of goals. I think he scored this season than any other. Yeah. He was speaking in the press about role models or role modelling rather. Wes Burns been watching Rafina, obviously the winger. So this was what was said. I think it's really useful strategy in coaching. We do that with quite a lot of the players here, and I've done that everywhere I've been. I think in general, the boys like to watch football, and they are like the supporters. They have role models, and they have to look up to. They're people they aspire to, and people they probably see a bit of themselves in. That's part of our work. Regularly looking at other teams, looking at top teams, looking at top players, trying to draw things from our players that are similar. Look, you can do these things to. This is a player that is working to a really high level. Not something I've ever come across, but role models. Who's your role model? Matthew Phillips. Who do you look up to and try and aspire to?
The patron saint. It's got to be the patron saint of tickets. How can you not?
Really?
He's a general. From a sporting point of view, probably. I don't know. I've always been a big fan of Conor McGregor. In the UFC, someone who came from nothing and is now one of the highest paid sportsmen in the world, worth billions.
Okay,
come from the Dole Queue in Dublin. I don't think you can, the mindset to become a champion and come out of the tenements of Dublin. I think it's amazing to be able to do that.
Harry Butcher looks up to Joe Wicks. Thinks he's very inspiring. Cruncher.
Yeah.
Well, look, I think today you've got to say Shane Warne because he is like. So 1993, so I was growing up and he's been there all through my childhood. Great cricketer, great commentator. And I think he's just someone who loves life, larger than life character. Nowadays, Martin, in sport as well, there's not so many characters nowadays because, look, we see it in football. Like it used to be like your drinking culture. You remember like your Arsenals, your Tuesday clubs. Out after training. That doesn't happen nowadays. So I'd say Shane Warne, thoroughly good bloke. Football-wise, always Terry Butcher. When I was growing up, I liked Terry Butcher was my favourite Town player when I first started watching. I had the kit. It was like the France '84 kit, wasn't it, Matt, with the lines on?
Yes. Well, he embodied that passion that all Town fans had. Again, it's like A bit like what you've seen with Bonn a little bit, but maybe a little bit more grassrootsy, I think, with Terry Butchie. Kind of like, he wore the bandage, he bled for the club. How could you not love someone like that? Yeah, absolutely.
Craig's gone for Andy Murray. That guy just doesn't give up. Fair point. Absolutely. Nick Muller, Bobby Robson, my hero if managers are allowed. Absolutely, Nick. Anything you like. And now on to the process of what was being talked about there by McKenna in terms of role modelling. It's a new thing in football these days. What do you make of it, Matt?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, they're putting targets there. They're putting goals there for something for you to aspire to. And, for years, what we've wanted as fans has not been delivered by the club on and off the pitch. So I think it's good to put some kind of inspiration in front of the players and say, look, this is the level we want to get at. Because as fans, we want, look, Martin, you keep saying, if only we could have this podcast in the Premier League, world would be your oyster, wouldn't it?
It would,
in terms of all the opportunity and stuff. So, the fans have that expectation and that the hope. We always say it's the hope that kills us. But, and it's good that the players are like identifying people that have been in a similar position to them and then gone on. I mean, if you're coming out of Brazil, you probably come out of one of the slum areas. Again, shows you the mindset to be able to go from nothing to something. So, yeah, I think it's all good, mate. I think it's good.
Yeah, okay. Just before you come on, Rich, McKenna did go on to say further, so I think role modelling through best practice is a big part of coaching now, and it's something that the players enjoy, they respond to, and it's something we do with a lot of our players, Wes is obviously being one of them. Martin, myself, and Charlie Turnbull do quite a lot of work on an individual basis, and the players enjoy and respond to it. It's just basic coaching, this, isn't it? Really, in the day, this is the newfangled terminology. We're role modelling. No, we're teaching best practice.
It's like coaching, but it's like Matt said, it was so missing in the last, at least the last two managers. You've only have to look with good coaching what Luke Wolfenden has achieved.
Yeah,
he was on the scrap heap, and there's not many people like us three here, even people in the chat. Most of us had wrote him off. He was leaving the football club. McKenna's come in, and I like McKenna, Martin. When you watch him after a game, they're going around the pitch. He's got an arm around a player. He's talking through certain things. I like that. And look, Luke Wolfenden's obviously a good footballer, but surely, and I know Mike Brown's there. Look, he's moaning about Downs and Dazelle. Maybe that's what they were lacking at the football club. Someone to put their arm around them, show them the way. And I know we had senior players, but sometimes it has to come from the coaching staff. And I don't think it happened in the past regime, but we need to leave that in the past, because now we are moving in the right direction and we've got the right person at the wheel, as we sing, haven't we, Martin? Really, yeah. I think we have. I know it's 12 games in, but I think it feels a whole lot different than past regimes.
And you'd imagine Russell Martin is quite high on this, Matt.
Oh, you would have thought so. Again, it's that kind of youngish manager, the new generation of manager, isn't it? Yeah. Very good point. How would Downs and Dazelle fare under McKenna? Well, we'll never know.
Just before you stop there, Matt, about young managers, I think after the Huddersfield Peterborough game tonight on Sky, there's a little feature they do with I think it's George Ellick and them. They're doing 4 young managers. I know McKenna's one of them. Liam Manning at MK, and I think there's another. They're going to do a little spotlight on them. So if anyone's around about 10:15, put Sky on and see what they've got to say there.
Check it out.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it would be lovely to know what Downs and Dazelle would have been like under this kind of
tremendous
generation of track. But I would imagine they could probably relate a little bit more to McKenna in that the background he comes from, the Man United thing, rather than these sort of more father-like figures, I guess, in Lambert and McCarthy and Cook. I was going to say the other fella, Cook.
The other fella. Yeah, absolutely. Jojo, because he left us a little bit too late. It's just a little too late. Good tune, that, by the way. Absolute classic.
They've gone off and done their thing, and we're building what we've got.
Yeah, Callie, football-wise, it's going to sound mad, but Beckham, not the quickest or most skillful, but put in the work and got to play at the very highest level. And to go from France 98 to that free kick against Greece for a role model. Absolutely. Yeah. Chris Boyd, the game changer guys have gone quite recently on social media. Do you think they've resigned themselves to another season in League One? I don't know. I think it's just a case of stepping back and letting the people you employ do the things that you employ them to do, isn't it? A bit, really? I mean,
probably. it's on the knife edge a little bit, isn't it? It's probably more likely we're going to be in League One.
You've got to be careful, though, haven't you? Because you're too active. You could be seen as standing on toes.
Yeah.
You're not active enough. You're not caring. Not that I'm saying that they're not caring.
Obviously, when they came in, we've had them on this platform, and hopefully we'll have Brett on in the future because he's the only one who hasn't really been on. But do we really want to be hearing from them all the time now? We don't really, because Mark Ashton's running the show. You know, Mike O'Leary's at the football club. Kieran McKenna's at the football club. They're in the background. They're speaking to them guys all the time, but we don't need to hear from them, do we? Really?
Burke said that to us on the show, didn't he? When Ashton comes in, he'll be the figurehead for the club.
Yeah, definitely.
So
we've got a badminton role model in the chat from Matt Stannard, late to the party, but two inspirations to me, Nathan Robertson and Gal Ems. Look at that. They were a great little badminton duo. They won gold, didn't they, at the London Olympics?
So was it London or the one?
Or was it the one before that? Yeah, one of the two.
Yeah.
Great little pair.
Badminton. You big badminton players?
No, my dad was, but no, not me.
I used to play badminton, and I got paired up at school with this kid who played for England.
Oh,
so we creamed it and won the trophy and the certificate. I
reckon you're quite good. I reckon you're quite nimble around the court, aren't you, Matt?
Yeah, I was quite nimble. Yeah, but in this instance, Rich, I didn't have to do anything because this kid was just like unbelievable, and he scored all the
points. Get over the net, Martin, because the net's quite tall. And
I was good around the net, but yeah, that was one of my sporting achievements. Everyone was like going, Matt Phillips didn't do nothing. That kid did it all.
Yeah, I bet you probably heard that a lot through your school life.
I was like, I'll let him do it. He plays for England.
There you go. You're wise to pair up with the lad that plays for England. Right. Let's break this into two pieces. Right. So first, the dominance, and then we'll talk about the lack of goals. So first, the dominance and performance. So strictly no strikers or goals talk, just the build-up and the overall play. McKenna had this to say. I think if you look at any objective markers in the league, we're at the top of the league in terms of how many chances we create, how few chances we give away. And if you do that over a long period of time, you're going to win a lot of football matches. We had 2 games last week where performances were very good, and that wasn't matched in terms of conversion of chances. There's something that we've worked at to get to that level. I feel like our penetration and our getting into dangerous areas has improved. How good of performances have we seen in the last 12 games since KM took charge? Forget the strikers, forget the goals. Just how good has Town been under McKenna, Rich?
I think we've been really good. He did mention XG. I thought you'd be losing your shit when you read that a little bit.
I didn't read that. He's lucky. Otherwise, I would have started to show a little bit more passionate than I did.
We cried out for an identity, didn't we? We cried out for a coach who would come in and be adaptable, which Cook wasn't. And I think McKenna is. I know some people will say he's tinkering a little bit too much in the front areas, but he doesn't know.
No strikers, no goals. Performances only, my friend. Those are the rules. We'll come to the strikers in a moment. But I'm up to read with strikers all week.
I've really enjoyed watching us under McKenna. We look comfortable, don't we, in possession of the ball. What we scored, what we conceded, 5 goals in 12 games.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, if you keep that up over the season, you only have to look at Rotherham, Matt. I think they've conceded 15 goals. I think they've conceded all season.
It's mental,
you know.
Yeah.
So
it is.
Just keep that up, and I think we'll be all right. We'll be all right. I don't think it'll be this season. I think we've still got too much to do this season, but I like the style that we play. We know how we play now, and I think whoever's coming into the team, they can fit into that style, you know. And it'd be interesting to see. I don't know what formation the under-23s play, Martin. Are they playing the same way? Is it going through the age groups? Because I think that'd be good if it was.
Remains to be seen. Yeah, absolutely. We've obviously Matt changed up and matched different teams and tried different permutations, Matt. But the dominance has been there regardless of who the personnel has been, and regardless of what sort of shape he lines us up in. We're talking about Romero at the start of the show. Who would you link McKenna to? Because I saw somebody earlier who said that he reminds them of Gareth Southgate. Always cool, always calm, always on top of the small details.
Yeah.
What about McKenna? Who would you link in? If we're getting Wes Burns to watch Rafina, who would you get McKenna? What would you say about him?
Yeah. I think the Southgate comparison is pretty good. I mean, you've got linking back to the people that he's learned from, which is Pochettino and Mourinho. I mean, that's unbelievable. As a young manager, what is he, 34, 35, 36? To have two, to work under those two in some kind of capacity. And then Solskjaer as well. He's calm and collected, isn't he? He's got the look of a manager at Ipswich. I don't think he's ever going to be in the position where he's going to be sacked. He'll either take us on to good things or he'll go on to great things with someone else in the Premier League. He's just got that aura about him. You know what I mean? I mean, Richie's right. You watch him going around the pitch at the end of the game. He'll come over and give the clap, and then he's talking to the players. And, and I've said on the show before, my worry was that they would not respect him because of the age he is. He's quite close in age to some of the older members of the squad. But then you look at the CV, working with Pochettino, working with Ronaldo, Pogba at Man United, Solskjaer. And, and I think they said in one of the interviews, wasn't it? I can't remember whose interview it was. They were like asking him about, what was it like coaching Ronaldo and all that kind of stuff. And it fosters good relations and there's a respect there. But I think the Southgate one's good. But I'm pretty certain he's learning a lot of his managerial techniques from continental managers in Solskjaer, Mourinho, and Pochettino. Absolutely,
yeah. So that is the dominance, but we do also have the goals or lack of. Awaydaysbeer.com, proud to partner with Talking Town. For only $14.99, grab your ITFC Legends Pack from the Beat to Hoppy Robson to Brazil's Best and Pablo's Pal. Whatever you need, whatever you want. ITFC Legends Pack, $14.99 at awaydaysbeer.com. Grab it today. Away Days Beer. Sorry, that's the wrong button. Sorry.
Say it again.
Have you done the monthly subscription, mine?
What, for Away Day Beers?
Yeah.
Not yet. I have to.
It's on it.
It's on
Super
my
sub. I'm on the super sub one.
I keep telling people when they say to me, have you done this yet? And I say, no, it's on my list. If Matt Phillips had just taken the prediction league off me, I would have had this, or this. The amount of things I've blamed you for, Matt, as to why I can't do it.
If I had taken the prediction league off you, I'd be top of that league right now, let me tell you.
Well, you're the cheater McCheats and strikes again. I've just realised I've got two adverts next to each other, which you probably shouldn't have next to each other. Away Day Beers and Manscaped. You do not want to be doing your dingly dangs after a couple of cases.
We're waiting for these products, aren't we, Matt? We're still waiting for them to come through the door. Every day I come home, I think, will I have a box?
They're sat right here, unopened. I keep telling you that. They're sat up there. You will get them one day. Although, don't forget Manscaped TT, 20% off if you do want to do your dingly doos, but don't do it after a case of away days.
Yeah.
Whatever you do. Roy Clark, doubles better. Lee Anderson, Mourinho worked with the very best, and look where that got him. Roma. Chris Boyd.
Matt Stannard's comment up about the rotating wing backs.
Oh, I can. Yes, I've started it for later on. But yes, Cruncher, what's your thoughts on rotating wing backs? Thompson has looked utterly done. Tuesday, sat after 7 minutes. Burns has looked burnt out. Do we need to strengthen there?
It's interesting because I still think we're a little bit lopsided because Burns bombs on down that right hand side, but Danassian he just drops into that right back slot, doesn't he? That's just. But I don't think Thompson's not. I don't think he's a wing back, Matt. I think he's just a full back who's.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
you playing as a wing back. I think he's kind of good.
Yeah,
we'll put our 1 to 11s up. He's still in my lineup tomorrow because you do have to remember he's part of that defence that have kept that record.
Yeah,
I know. Going forward, people might say, and he has looked. I do agree with Matt there for the Cheltenham game and last Saturday. He did look absolutely knackered, but most people on this platform have binned off Matt Penny, Matt Stannard included. So. Are we going to eat humble pie now, Matt, and say Matt Penny should be back in the team? Not for me.
Clements.
No,
he's found his level at Stevenage.
It's like
Kane Vincent-Young. People will say Kane Vincent-Young, another one. When he's played, has he really pulled up any trees this season? No. His last performance was away at AFC Wimbledon when he had a poor game. Then he got a red card. So these people, like I said to you, Matt, earlier, and Martin. These people are always better players when they're not in the team. They are.
Yeah. They are. That's true.
Great,
Is that one of the more bizarre decisions of the season? Bailey Clements under Paul Cook.
What coming into the team?
Yeah.
maybe that was just a sign of the desperation that he was feeling at the time. You know, we've got this huge wage bill. I've brought in all these players. It's not quite clicking. I just need to do something a little bit different. That's probably what he was.
I agree with Cole there. I agree with Cole about Thompson. Is he the scapegoat? Yeah, I didn't think he had a great game last Saturday.
He'll be great in every game, is he?
But at the end of the day, we've had 22 attempts on goal in that game. If the strikers do their job, we go away with a victory, and no one's talking about your left back or your left wing back, how poor he was or whatever. So
plus he was taking the corners. We know we're no good at corners. At least he stood up and said he'd do that. You know what I mean? He didn't score one.
I think we have to get some perspective on what you expect from a wing back in the formation, I suppose, because defensively you shouldn't require too much of them. It's how do they influence the final third, like Wes Burns, very, very big influence in the final third.
You're now seeing that in Kenlock at Colchester. Never had a bleeding shot for us. He's now got 2 goals in the loan spell at Colchester. So clearly League Two's his level. You'll probably find Matt Penny's levels League Two, really.
Because as a wing back, you're defending. You've still have one, possibly 2, even sometimes 3 covering players. You're not an inline fullback as traditional sense of.
But then if we say about Burns, Martin, Burns' defensive qualities, he's been caught napping at Sheffield Wednesday and last Saturday.
Goals.
And last Saturday he was asleep, and that guy's run off him and scored the header. So I know he's got goals going forward.
We are asking a lot of him, though, aren't we? We're asking to have big. It's like the England cricket team. You're asking them to bowl out the opposition, and then they're all out. The batsmen are all out, and the tail end have to do all the business.
I don't disagree with that.
Burns doing both ends.
Finally, Mike's with me. Look, I don't think we need to be playing 3 at the back against Morecambe and Cheltenham, or even tomorrow, Fleetwood. Substitute one of those for a further forward player. That's my thinking. But McKenna's going to stick with what he thinks is the best way.
They lost 2-0 at Wigan, didn't they? In the week.
They did. They're
not on the bench.
Oh, was he really? There we go. Matt just puts the final exclamation point on it. With my point is wing back is a very demanding role, and many top teams rotate them. Tuesday, Saturday to recognize that. We don't. I guess lack of cover, but do you think a bit more depth would be good? Absolutely, a bit more depth past the first 2 would be good. But goals.
You'll see that next season, I think.
I think you will. Yeah, because I think what Matt says is spot on. And what you were saying there, mate. Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's like your midfield areas. You need 2, maybe even sometimes 3 players in reserve. But it's okay. So we've done dominance.
I would say me and Rich are the win backs of Talking Town. You're kind of like you're the Baresi, aren't you?
Who are you? Am I the Wes Burns, Matt, or are you the Dominic Thompson?
You can be Dominic Thompson. I want to be Wes Burns.
Thanks. By the way, Wes's mum and dad are not going to the game tomorrow. I was speaking to David on Twitter. They're a little bit disappointed because Wes's brother's getting married in the summer, and they've got their last tasting session for the food. Now, I said, who has arranged it at 3:00 on a Saturday? And he said, wasn't naming names, but someone supports Cardiff City, and Cardiff City are away tomorrow. So there you go.
There we go.
Bad moves.
Even footballers' parents, look, you still have to.
You
still have a full victim to some of the.
You've got to get that wedding meal right now. You've got to get it right.
Why? You'll be pissed out of your heads by the time you eat it anyway.
I had my tasting because we used a catering company in Ipswich, and we went to that, and then we went down to Sheffield Wednesday, and it was not 0-0, really boring game, freezing cold.
A good wedding has plenty of alcohol flowing, so by the time you
doesn't like food anyway, so that would be
exactly.
No, I enjoyed that. We had a free bar at our wedding.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
I can believe it. Yeah, I can absolutely believe it.
It
takes 2 points for you. Right, dominance, now lack of finishing. McKenna said, if we do that, we'll continue to create chances, and over the course of time, I think we have the players and abilities that we know can score goals and take chances. If we continue to perform how we have in the last couple and fight to those performance levels, then I think goals will come. It's as simple as that. Stay calm, etc., etc. Is it as simple as that? If it's as simple as that, why is it not going on? Is it only a blip, though? Is it only really, in reality, just 2 games we haven't scored in? Albeit, yes, very important games, which has magnified them both. But is it really a minor blip that's being brewed up to be bigger than what it is, Rich?
Well, we have had, 37 attempts on goal over the last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you would expect more than 1 goal, wouldn't you, really? Be realistic.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That kind of... Although the Cheltenham game, We had 17 attempts that game, and I don't think we really worked their goalkeeper. He had a decent save from a Chaplin header, but other than that, we didn't really work him. Whereas on Saturday we did, because Carson, their goalkeeper, was man of the match, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He had a really good game. But we do need, like I said, I think it was on Sunday, we need to be more ruthless. Got to be more ruthless in this league. Get your chances. If we create 2 or 3 clear-cut chances tomorrow, we have to put them in the net. You know, it's no good creating all these chances and keep missing them, you know, because in the end, like Saturday, it was plain as day to me. We dominated the first half. We hadn't scored. I could see what was going to happen. I thought, Morecambe will go down the other end. And what happened? There it is. It's 1-0. And then we're fighting to come back into the game. We got a point. We still could have won it. Even after that, you know, Donatian had a great chance. I think Selena has a shot where the goalkeeper spilled it. No one's following it in. It's just them little 1%ers, Martin, because there was a couple of times when we've had a shot, the goalie spilled it, and they're all on their heels. You've got to be sniffing them chances out, you know, round the 6-yard box. The goalie spills it, you've got to be in there. You got yourself a goal, haven't you, there?
But let's be fair, Matt. If it was FIFA or Football Manager, you'd be restarting that game after Saturday, because you would be absolutely livid that you've dominated.
I never restart games.
You would be. This is the game you'd be clicks, you know, restart, because you're like, where the fuck have I lost that?
Yeah.
Or not even won it, or not won it.
I think Rich answered the question last Sunday, actually, because if what we got, something like 50-odd goals, 53 goals, a third of those have come from 4 games. The 6-0 against Doncaster, 4-1 at Wickham, 4-0 at Pompey, 4-0 at Gillingham. So it just actually goes to show that if you take out that start of the season when Bond was scoring lots of goals, August to end of September and into October, actually we haven't scored that many goals. And that is the issue, which is why I do think you'll probably see some new strikers next
Mike
season.
the Fisherman's he's very angry in the chat there, Mike. You need to calm down, because after all, you're only a level 1 coach. Don't forget that.
That said, Matt, only 4 out of the last 11 games
Mike.
we have failed to score in. That isn't as big as a catastrophe as perhaps it's being painted. I'm telling you, and I want you to tell me
you like the boring Arsenal 1-0.
No, I'm telling you that if these 2 games had happened in September, even December, and wasn't as big of a games as they were billed by the fans, it wouldn't have been billed as such a, oh my God, we've got a crisis. It needs to be a week-long content fuel of how are we not scoring goals? Because it's only 4 of the last 11 we've failed to score in.
But we've not scored lots of goals in previous seasons, have we? Particularly,
you need to score 1 to win the game, 2 if you concede.
Greece won the Euros winning 1-0 each time, didn't they?
You don't get 4 points for a 3-0 win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, great. I mean, I think the fact that we beat that defensive record, the clean sheet record, is at a detriment of scoring goals. Maybe, you know, we've ensured we're not going to lose them, but unfortunately, we've ensured we're not going to win them either.
I did say at the start of the show, at the start of the summer, or the start of the year rather, on the shows, when people were saying we're scoring goals, but we're conceding too many, I kept saying, is it because we're playing too free flowing? We have to apply the handbrake, score less, but concede less. Oh, I don't think it'll be that. Is it now that? Have we applied the handbrake a little bit, and now
it's not Joe Royal football, is it? Where we'll score 6, you score 4, like the Crew game that time. He's too much of a student of the game, isn't he, McKenna, to be involved in like a 10-goal thriller or anything. He keeps it tight at the back. Maybe
5-4 tomorrow. 5-4 tomorrow.
I call him methodical, and that's what we are at the minute. I think.
Yeah. I mean, do you think? I mean, Martin, do you? I mean, like, you'll ask the questions, isn't it, of us, but and the people in the comments. But do you think we'll see a different strike force for next season? Do you think McKenna likes Norwood? He likes Bond. He likes Piggott. He likes Jack. He clearly likes Jackson because he keeps referencing him. So he might see him stay. But what about the other 3?
I like Jacko. And I think me and Kieran are the same wavelength, same intelligent level. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Can you believe this, Rich?
Absolutely, I can believe that he likes Jackson. He'll also like Raheem Harper when he sees a lot more than 10 minutes of him. It'll be honestly, it'll be a summer of Harper. I can tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it goes without doubt, doesn't it? There'll be some reconstruction of the areas that McKenna desperately needs reconstruction of, which I think is the fullbacks and the attacking options up front. particularly. You have to replace Selena. That goes without saying.
And
How you
would you
A lot of
sign him
people
if
wanna
you had the chance, Martin?
A lot of people want to buy him, don't they? From our Twitter post this week, a lot of people want to buy him. Fair play.
My only worry about signing Burton Selena is, as always, how much it takes out of the budget and how many areas you perhaps, think about Selena. He's a great player. But if he's on, let's pluck a number 10, could you better use that on two players at 5 each in League One level? Like Wes Burns, for example, no disrespect. I would have thought plucking another number, he's on 4, Selena's on 10. You could have had two Wes Burns for one Burton Selena. Now, football's not as easy as that. We all know that. But you double your chances. That's a given.
But don't he bring you something different, Selena, that no one else has probably got in this squad? There's no one in this squad who scored that goal he did against Crewe. And I know he hasn't done it enough. And I do agree with Matt when he says that. But we all see that goal. And he has got that. He's got that X factor, I'd call it.
Yeah.
There's also a lot to be said that how many teams outside of the Premier League actually have a couple of Burton Selena. So I was just seeing a comment in the chat, Cole Brooks, Selena brought his heartbeat, Scott Twine next to him. Does Scott Twine need to be the only player in that team to be Scott Twine, to be the star? People look to Scott Twine, they don't look to... Because at the moment, you could say we're trying to feed so many different mouths that's why it's being shared or not shared around, Look at Chaplin Selena. You're both going to come on to him a bit later on the show, but really, how many teams would have both Chaplin and a Selena instead of just a Chaplin?
But then that goes back. Then that goes back to who was signing these players in the summer when we signed Chaplin, Selena, Fraser, and Aluko.
No comment, my lord, on that one.
That's a lot of players for one position.
Exactly.
It is. Yeah.
I mean, look, you've got a competition in the squad, don't you? But if you've got 4 players vying for one shirt, people are going to be missing out and going to get pissed off.
During it was an auction, and he says he had an itch. It was like as a player coming in there. Well, no, I just had an itch, and he'd raise his arm again. Another number
Selena,
10 ball.
Who's Selena? Who signed Selena? I don't really understand. Did Paul Cook? I don't know where that one comes from.
There's no one at the club that would have remembered Selena on the coaching staff from the McCarthy era. So this Brian Clew was involved somewhere along the line. I don't know, but it was a weird one. I would imagine. Look, Dijon will want to get rid of Selena because they're in Division 2 of the French league, which is a foot in the Farmers League. Almost, it's all avenues east of the non-league out there. He'll probably end up in the Bundesliga or something. I would have thought.
To be fair, the number of players brought in it never concerned me. It doesn't concern me now, and I think they just took advantage of a weak financial market. Being football out of COVID, teams looking to move, not looking to bring as many free transfers in because there's certain financial restrictions. I just think we were aggressive at a time when you could be, and you let the dominoes or the chips fall where they fall, and you come to this summer and you say, well, what have we got and where do we go from here? There could be an argument in the summer that you don't need to do as much because you've not seen the best of a Chaplin yet. No,
that does make sense. I mean, you're absolutely right about it being the weak window. No clubs with any income. We suddenly get taken over by Americans. Suddenly we've got an abundance of riches. I felt like we probably were trying to dominate the division with this abundance of options, but it just hasn't worked out that way, is it?
No. If it was Football Manager, it would have worked out perfectly. You've won the league by now. You've got players playing 9 out of 10 every week, and you look like masters of the profession for attacking a weak market, maximizing the value, and then but football's not as easy as
could still be a weak market next season.
Depends
it comes down, doesn't it? Depends it comes down.
With the current world situation, with deals being pulled here, I mean, obviously the French situation was result of a TV deal going Pete Tong. Dijon also got relegated, I believe, so you got that double whammy. Who knows?
Peterborough probably coming down. You probably got Derby coming down.
Derby.
If Derby is still existing. Just don't know, do you?
They'll be still existing, I'd have thought by then. They've got a new owner coming in, haven't they?
Well, not yet.
I think they keep missing the deadline for their whatever the administration target is. I think they keep missing the deadline. So
Robson Blue Boys bringing Sin on his day is the best in the league. However, he needs consistency. Waghorn in the summer. Oh, I speak on behalf of Amy Downs and myself when I say I would love to see Marty Waghorn back.
My boss is a Coventry fan, and he's having an absolute stinker of a season, and he's not fit, so I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole.
I remember after the West Ham friendly, he was running around the pitch on his warm down, and I shouted out, "Please don't go, Waghorn! Please don't go!" Loves Martin Waghorn.
He didn't play that 10 role. I'm trying to think back. Was he in that 10 role?
They played as a 2, but ish.
With Garner.
Him and Garner,
Yeah. He'd be good in League One. He'd be good in League One, man. He'd be really good.
I know someone who's in the academy and was told that Piggott is doing so well in training, slipping into the squad, starting week in, week out, think he might have something in him. Says Robson's Blue Boys.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share on here. Martin, do you remember, Matt, in the week, Martin shared on someone's Instagram post, Joe Piggott had gone in for an operation. So I clicked on Joe Piggott on Instagram, and it wasn't Joe Piggott 9 who plays for Town.
Some other Joe Piggott, non-league Joe.
Be fair, you've got to put some facts on that story, Mr. Moss. Can't just leave it hanging like that, or I'll slide out of this screen.
Well,
I saw it on Facebook. Now I'm not
Right.
I'm not on Insta anymore. I'm on it, but I'm not. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter. So I simply put it
it's
into
one
the
of them at the
WhatsApp
minute. He's
group.
deleted the app.
I have. Twitter, I deleted the app and then forgot my password. So I can't log back in on my phone, which is great, actually, by the way. It's a breath of fresh air. But I saw it on Facebook and I thought, I know somebody who will definitely know whether this is right or wrong. And I didn't tell you. I just put pig ?
You did, to be fair.
And waited for the response.
It was an emoji of a pig as well, wasn't it?
Joe Piggott 9 in the search, and he was literally the first one to come up. So I clicked on it, and there he was. Some non-league Joe Piggott.
I was wanting to clarify with you before I either removed the post from the forum as the admin or didn't. I didn't want to remove the post from the poor lad, and it actually turned out to be true. That'd have been a nightmare. But yeah.
Could he be in the running tomorrow? Piggott maybe at Fleetwood.
Well, by that picture, he ain't running nowhere. That Joe Piggott.
that one isn't. No.
That was not running anywhere.
Next 2 months. Yeah.
Louis, Matt, I think that the fact that Stockton has scored 21 goals in a team that is struggling is incredible.
But that ditto Piggott last season.
Yeah.
Did exactly the same at Wimbledon, didn't they?
But then Mike D says Stockton 58 goals, 277 appearances. No thanks. But you would have said no thanks to Wes Burns this time last year if I had said to you, Wes Burns, right winger. What do you think?
I don't think we would have done. Because you remember that lad came on the show, didn't he? Craigie, his name was. And he said, I really like the look of that number 7. We were like, we looked it up. Oh, Burns. And then he scored
Burns. 16
on that last day of the season. We started thinking he could be an option.
According to Wikipedia, now Wikipedia is 99% never right on stats, but 16 goals out of 144 games. You all would have gone to a man.
Where's who?
Yes, you would have done.
Of course we would.
The fact is, you don't really look at him and be as your main goal scorer. He's someone who can chip in with goals. As you
In
said,
fact,
spread them out.
You'd have gone as far as to say Alex Gilead would probably do a better job because he was flavour of the month in the summer for a while as well.
Stephen Parry is not in the chat to defend himself. He's at a wedding tonight, Matt.
And he doesn't like weddings, he said.
He
don't
hates
like weddings. Yeah, he's there under duress.
He's a
He'll be back here Sunday.
Right, preparation. For the opposition or players just not performing well before we get into the 1s to 11s. It involves our players, our strengths, how we see the players in training, how the last game went, and the opposition that we're playing and their strengths and their weaknesses. This is about picking a team and picking a setup. We take that all into consideration, and every player, not just strikers, I think every player enjoys the thought of having 5 or 6 games in a row and you'll be guaranteed to play. You'll play no matter what, you get one of the games. I think every player enjoys that feeling. So why haven't you given it to him then? We're in a spell, where initially it was very important for me to get a good look at everybody, to assess the squad, get everybody feeling like a part of it and have a chance to contribute and a chance to make an impression. So assessing the squad, does that sort of make you think, actually, maybe we're looking at one eye next year? Is it about that? Is it about the fact no one's playing well? Why has it been as choppy up the top compared to the back three, who are the foundation?
Well, I mean, you've answered your own question there. At the back, they've proved trustworthy and broken clean sheet record, haven't they? And as we alluded to earlier, you take the 4 wins, the big 4 thrashings that we had, the 18 goals, you take it out there, and you're suddenly left with about, I don't know, 30 odd goals. across the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, it goes back to what we just talked about. I think probably McKenna's probably eyeing at least a couple of new strikers for next season. Absolutely. Because that's the only part of the pitch that we do, as you keep, the keeper picks himself, the back three pick himself. Morsey's always going to be in there. It seems Burns is always going to be in there. It seems Thompson's always going to be in there. But we don't know who that front three is going to be. And that's the issue, isn't it?
You say that.
But it shouldn't be an issue when you've got Selena there on mega wage.
You say that, but there's been a couple of times, Crunch, forget what we know about the rest of the season. George Edmondson hasn't played well a couple of occasions. You've got Christian Burgess there, and nearly £1 million signing. It could have been Cameron. Sorry, could have been. It could have been Christian Burgess playing for Portsmouth. Hell of a defender. It could have been so easy to take Edmondson out for a game or two and put Burgess in.
He dipped a bit in January, didn't he? But I think he's got enough credit in the bank from what he's done throughout the whole season. Sam Morsey probably had a couple of quieter games. You wouldn't take him out of your team, would you? There is certain people, and like your goalkeeper might have an odd, dodgy game or two, but you're not going to take him out. You need them building blocks.
I think my answer is there. I think Burgess won't be here by the next season.
You don't know that. Pre-season, like Martin said before, someone might come in for George Edmondson. They might say, here's 3 or 4 million. I might think that's a good deal, and we might sell him on. I hope we don't.
I think about three suits him a lot better than what he was playing under Paul Cook.
But then you'll find another Edmondson. I remember watching Derby Sheffield Wednesday, last day of the season, the 3-3 that relegated Sheffield Wednesday, and Edmondson played in that game. When he's on for us, I had no idea.
I'm not sure, Matt. Sometimes with, like I said about Burns, where you've got Donasian drops into that right back area. If you had someone Burns's ilk on the left, say Edwards, would Edmondson feel comfortable dropping into that left back spot? Because I don't think he is. I think a couple of times that's where he got in trouble, Martin, against Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah.
Near half time last Saturday, he got dispossessed in a dangerous area as well. Got himself out of danger. I don't think it suits him, out the three of them, the best. Donasian and Wolfen look more comfortable than Edmondson does in a free. I'm not saying change the system. I'm just saying he looks the least comfortable out of the three of them. And
Burgess played in a free on the left-hand side at Accrington. Yeah. That's the irony of the situation, isn't it?
He did. Yeah. Are you quick to throw away nearly £1 million investment in the summer, Matt?
Well, I mean, depends. I mean, look, you don't get rid of players unless you can find someone better. If they can find
because you're not recouping that, are you, after this season currently?
No, maybe not. I mean, we still don't know really how much he went. I thought it was around about $750,000.
It was 750, I think.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so right, yeah.
So
nearly hours, didn't they? Accrington Stanley kept that club afloat, I feel.
we gave him a dressing room, didn't we? Janoy.
Yeah.
The back three of all my mistakes, none of them are dominant in the air.
Yeah, good point, I suppose. I mean, but Burgess not featured since October, has he? Well, he wasn't dominant in the air either, by the way, which is why we ended up drawing that game with Cambridge too soon.
Yeah, I agree with Mike D there because he got schooled by Joe Ironside that day. He bullied him.
That was a foul. That was still a foul.
Still a foul.
Still a
got
foul.
To be stronger.
Still a foul.
Got to be stronger.
Matt, you wouldn't know. You weren't there.
But you don't know. You don't know what happens in pre-season. Burgess might come back in the summer, have a real good pre-season, Martin. Play some pre-season games. They might think, right, we'll give him a go. And he comes in the team and he plays well and he's in. You don't know. And there could be injuries. So
Roy Clark making a good point there. Where's Baggett? Could Baggett come into the frame?
He said a couple of years away, I would have thought.
Being
a starter. We've got is Mike the Fishman, is he now gone to the other side of the who had 12 games on the sweepstake for how long it would take Mike the Fishman to
he's whining.
He is, isn't he? This is the start. This is
Lewis Fenton's correct though. Burgess was dropped after just one bad game by Cook. I hasten to add.
But he is right. James Nord in the front of three of a on the left of a front three is it's not his position, as shall we say, is it?
No, which makes you think, is he going to be surplus to requirements next season? He's obviously just filling a space there, isn't he?
That'll be the areas you look to bring in, I thought. Not your central striker necessarily, your inside forwards.
Yeah.
I don't think Chaplin performs the inside forward position well either. So you don't really have that.
He's out of the team as well, though, isn't he? Again, if you that's why it's a bit harsh to judge those front players. I feel because 1 minute they're in, then they disappear for 2-3 games. Then you might see Piggott back in tomorrow.
He scored 9 goals, Matt. He still had a half decent season, Chaplin. 9. If he played a few more games, he's probably going to get 12 to 14 goals, which would be a good return, wouldn't it?
That'd be our top scorer normally, wouldn't it? Might be this season.
And finally, from the press conference, I'm going to come to you here, Cruncher, because you're the most calmest contributor and calmest town fan I know. You never put the cat amongst the pigeons, so I thought I'd come to you on this one. McKenna said, I think it's a stay to stay calm. There are a lot of points to play for. There are still 33 points on the table. So whatever the result is at the weekend, I don't think it changes the situation completely one way or the other. We're going to have to keep performing how we are. We're going to have to win a lot of games. Time to stay calm. Doesn't matter either way.
I see Wes Burns' comment in the week about 2 points a game, on for 75. 75 won't be enough this season, Martin. For sixth place. No. When it usually, I think last season, it was it 74, Matt? Oxford got to come sixth?
Yeah.
It's going to be more this season.
Par,
it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be probably, 77, 78 maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't know, but we still have a lot of games to go, Martin. We have 11 games, but I looked at the fixtures tomorrow. There's not many there that I think would be teams are going to be slipping up.
No.
And if we're still 6 points behind with 7 games to go, you're thinking it's not good.
The big question is, like you said, Reg, can they put in order to chip away at 6 points deficit? You've got to win 3 games on the trot. And as Rich said last Sunday, we've not done that all season.
That's this week, though, isn't it? That's this week. It's Fleetwood tomorrow, it's Lincoln Tuesday night, and then it's Portsmouth Saturday. We need to be sitting in next Friday night. Yeah. And we've won 2 games, and we go in for a third.
It's doable, isn't it? Absolutely. But you just don't know what's going to be served up.
As Lewis Robinson says, do you need to? If you go win, win, draw, win, win, draw, win, win, do you need to get that 3 games in a row?
So what, win, draw? So you only ever picking up 7 points each time is what you're saying? There's going to be losses in there, though. You've got to think Rotherham away is going to be a tough one. We've still got Wigan to come to Pullman Road. Probably they might need that for automatic promotion. So I just feel like, I think Richie's right. I feel like you need to put a cluster of wins together just to reduce that deficit.
I was looking, when we'd done that show last night, Martin, it was 5 wins from that game when we played Derby in 91-92. And I looked before that, there was another time when we won 6. That's what we need to be doing, winning 5 or 6 games on the spin. That to get anywhere. That's what we need. Look
how
at
many points did you say won't be enough? 70?
I said 75 probably wouldn't get you in.
About a 13% chance.
Is that what it is? Yeah, there you go.
I think we'll end up probably 7th or 8th on about 72, 73.
72.
I've gone for 20 points from the last 11 and we'll end on 73.
Yeah, I think that's probably more realistic. Again, it's the start of the season has probably killed us. And, we've not done very well against them.
Don't buy that. Don't buy that.
You start off, it's like starting the marathon. You're right at the back of the.
It's right what Mike D says. Like there, look, good sides with promotion aspirations. They get late goals.
They do.
You don't get in the playoffs by drawing at home to Cheltenham and drawing away at Morecambe, do you? Really?
No.
You need to be winning.
Norwich under Farker would have scored late in that game.
How many times did they in that season, Matt?
Yeah, that's the sign of
forget Farker, Paul Lambert, back-to-back promotions off doing it.
Well,
no, they did honestly back-to-back. He would get to 90 minutes. The fourth official board would go up and
they couldn't do it here, could they?
Van inside Carrow Road.
It's pretty right first time.
And
I'm trying to get better. Presenter for hire.
Lewis Fenton says they're about sneaking in with 75. Now, what have 6th place got at the minute, Martin? 59.
A lot more than us. Yes.
So they're only needing another 16 points, Louis, from 11 games.
They'll do that, won't they?
70 from memory.
And it's not just one team though, is it? You've got 2 or 3 round. Like Plymouth, I think. What are they? 8th. They've got 2 games in hand. If they win them, they go to about 62 points.
I think from memory, I looked at it obviously for the Monday show. That's when we do most of this, expected goals bollocks. 13%, I think, was about 75 points with mid 30s, finishing 7th or 8th with that number, 75. So, I like to put these in percentages because it makes it more stark, I think. Like when I said on Monday's show, 4% chance of promotion, it makes it colder. 4%. That's really bad. Like, do you know what I mean? Because you'll sit here for days going, "Oh, it's only 6 points. That's only 2 games." Like you'll sit here for days doing it.
But why we lament the fact that the start of our season might cost us getting into the playoffs? Plymouth's start of the season will probably get them into the playoffs because they started off so strongly, didn't they? That's why they've got the, as Rich would say, they've got the money in the bank. So they got.
Then he said when Paul Cook left us, that was our chance of the playoffs going. He was our best chance. So. The start wasn't great, but it wasn't catastrophic. You weren't sitting.
We've been ninth forever, haven't we, Mike? We've been ninth.
Yeah.
I hate
Just
it.
literally gone nowhere.
It's like Groundhog Day every Saturday. Look at the league table. Oh, we're in ninth.
We've had
loads of tomorrow. If we win tomorrow, we'll still be ninth.
You've had loads of.
Don't tell me that.
In a year, in less than a year, you've had loads of upheaval. You've had Cook come in. You've had the 19 players come in. You've had the bad start. You've had Cook get sacked. You've got this unknown McKenna come in. It's just been a lot of upheaval. We probably just need the summer to sort the team out and go again next season.
Yeah. 78 points or more, Louis, is what I think realistically.
Getting to playoffs. That is massive.
Realistically, I mean, 77 is a mid 30s % chance, I think, from memory. It's all from memory.
If we win 8 games, 24 points.
That shows you how competitive it's been in the top 6 this season. Because, like Rich said, you could normally sail in at the back end of the season on 74 points.
There you go, 25-1. See, that's the sort of bet you put on the National when you look at the newspaper and you go and buy names. Phillips's Rocket, and you think, 25-1, stick a pound on that. Why not? Sometimes you sat in the evening eating a Chinese meal, but other times, or more times than not, you're definitely not. You've lost a pound.
Yeah.
I
was going to say, did you say this top of the show, 9:30, when Rich is leaving, I'll be in bed? I'll be in the boxing gym, mate. Working out.
There you go. Mike D, as you all say, we've got identity. You need some solid strikers brought in the summer and become a good, solid side. Right. 1 to 11 score predictions. Don't forget, we're live tomorrow, 1:50. Myself, Coxie, and the Milk Tray Man, who said the season was over back in
8 games.
8 games.
Right, though. It's going to be right, isn't he?
He's going to be right, isn't he?
He was the first to go. He was the first to go.
So join us for the pre-game show, and then, of course, for the full-time show. But here is your 1 to 11. We have got Media Mogul first. I'll move you. Talk to us about your 1 to 11 there. Tell Rich, convince Rich why this is the team to beat Fleetwood.
He'll be all over this team. Well, the back four pick themselves, Walton in goal and Ed Fridge and Wolf and JD. Still got my man Backinson sitting. I thought he did all right last week, and he had that shot. Very unlucky.
Physical presence.
The physical presence. I think he's just there's assuredness about him, and he can get it to all right, Muttley. Stop laughing.
Have you seen him tackle though? Honestly, in the whole time he's been here, has he put one tackle in?
Well, McKenna's picking him, so he's obviously doing something, right? And I'd rather be aligned with McKenna than you boys.
Physical presence.
So I think he's a bit of a water carrier, isn't he? He'll find a blue shirt, and I think that's all good. Moulsey the Marauder, Burns obviously, and Thompson on the other side. Then the fact Selena plays, Martin gave Selena man of the match coming off the bench last week. The fact he plays so well against these teams that are threatened by relegation, let's get him in that 10. And then I've got Norwood up top, and then Jackson in and around him as well. So that could be a 3 up the top, or it could just be Norwood on his own and Jackson and Selena either side. It's fluid, it's changeable, and it's only a couple of weeks ago Jackson was a 10 out of 10 against Burton. Do you know what I mean? So
pure Lambert vibes there with the Jackson and the Norwood. I'm not laughing because I don't rate Backinson, by the way. I think he's a good player. I think he's probably one of the better players forward thinking. But I wouldn't have ever said Tariq Backinson is
Colton Palmer, Matt.
What? No.
He's a huge guy. He's a big guy. And I don't know, he does the simple things easily. He gets the ball, he passes to a blue shirt. That was used to be one of my dad's things. Why can't they pass to a blue shirt? He used to do his heading.
Yeah, but what you don't want is the oncoming team breaking away. Oh, it's okay. Tariq's there. He's going to real hammer them.
What's that, like that one at MK where he had 3 players and he lost the ball.
Well, Rich will remember that did annoy me in actual fact. But I mean, he even chased down the keeper last week at Morecambe.
There you go. But I think, if it's about scoring goals, it was a limited snapshot, but Macaulay Bond and Tariq Backinson had faint glimmer of an understanding.
Fisherman's comment there about no one's asking if Kieran McKenna will be here next season.
He's under contract. Why would he not be?
We will not speak such ugliness.
Because A said our biggest danger is losing McKenna in the summer, I think.
It is our biggest danger. It is. It really is.
No more so than any other manager, like Liam Manning leaving MK, for example. No.
Yeah, but this is a club that's not done well when replacing managers, Matt.
Well, we're building something here, aren't we? That's why listen, Ashton's got him in on the fact that we're going to build something and it's a long-term project. I don't think you're going to see McKenna.
Ask Barnsley about building long-term projects at this time of the year when they're talking
West
about...
Bromwich Albion. Look at them now.
You know,
Did I not call that? Did I or did I not say that in my crunching tackle the other week about them old school managers?
Yeah. But honestly, Barnsley fans would have sat on their equivalent of what they've got and said, if we don't go up this year, we're building something. We've got a nice manager who's got a good style. 3 months later, he's gone. They're now fighting relegation. Like, I'm not saying we're going to fight relegation.
He was overachieving with them, wasn't he? They should have got relegated the season before, and he got stayed up because of Wigan's administration. They should have been a League One team, really. I'm going to tell you right now, Backinson's going to get an assist tomorrow. That little chip ball off the edge of the D, back post. Someone nods it in, probably Norwood.
All right. Lambert vibes for the Matt team. Crunch convinced Matt why this team should beat Fleetwood.
I've only got one different player in. I've just got Chaplin in instead of Norwood.
There you go. Okay.
That's the only change I've made.
So you've gone with like a MK Dons away vibe here, haven't you?
Yeah, I agree with Craig from Portsmouth.
Like
you know, Chaplin, he gives a goal for it, Matt. He does. Like a couple of them games, he's not had a very good game. I think the Gillingham game at home, he didn't do a lot, and then one touch, bang, the ball's in the net. And I think we need to pick some players who can get goals. I know Norwood can get a goal, but I don't see McKenna playing two central strikers. You know, I don't see a Jackson and a Norwood. I don't think. Has he done it yet, Martin?
No.
Like a straight two up front, like old school?
No, he hasn't.
Did we do that against Sunderland? Was it Bon and Norwood, the 1-0 at Sunderland?
He was in charge at Sunderland.
Oh, it was John McGreal, wasn't it? Of course he was. Yeah. Good point.
Norwood's played off that left-hand side, hasn't he, when he's played?
He had, yeah.
Yes.
And to be fair to him,
inside forward, yeah.
To be fair to him, look, Mike, the fisherman. I'm just going on what McKenna picks. He doesn't pick two up front. He hasn't done it since he's been here.
I'm not a huge fan of Selena and Chapman on the same pitch. I don't think they work well together. I think that experiment needs to be in the bin.
Yeah, but I think if you if you're going to play a central striker, you could play. Who's going to play on the left? Not Norwood. You could play Selena out there. Then who plays on the right hand side of the front three? Then Martin. Who would you
Jackson
play
on the left? Jackson did well against Burton on the left, didn't he?
You could play Piggott in the middle.
Piggott would have to go in the middle for that, I think. Yeah,
but he doesn't seem to.
No. I'm still learning what he would.
He might have done it. Yeah, did he do that away at Gillingham? I'm not sure. He played two, possibly
the problem
two.
We've got is no strikers are scoring goals, like Brighton said Sunday. No one's actually, other than Jackson, has scored since the start of January. So you're constantly having to play players.
Don't be expecting silky flowing football tomorrow. Their pitch is a fucking cabbage patch up there.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Take your wellies.
Yes, it's not great. The team. What was the team for Gillingham? Let's have a quick look. Obviously, they did
play two strikers. Bon and Norwood did play that day, but I don't know if they did. He play two up front.
Norwood's not played, from my memory and in my
centrally.
Mind. He's not played centrally. He's played inside left.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
So I think I even said on the Sunday podcast, I commended him for playing inside left on that for the first couple of weeks.
He told us on the show that was his original position, wasn't it, or a left midfield style position. So they obviously had that chat with him. Do you feel comfortable playing over there? They've obviously had that chat. But
he wants. If you're a footballer, you want to be in the team, though, don't you? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
You do.
You're going to say, "I'll play anywhere."
I'm still learning what he wants from those positions. You know, the inside forward positions. I'm still learning what is actually needed tactically from those players. I wonder if an Aluko, for pure football brain, could play an inside forward role. He hasn't got the legs. But I don't know if he needs the legs with the overlapping of a Wes Burns or a Dominic Thompson.
Yeah. It's a good shout.
But did he not play there last Saturday on the right-hand side?
I thought he played more centrally last Saturday.
Yeah, possibly.
They're interchangeable, so it's very difficult to say, this was central, he was right, blah, blah, blah.
True.
But I do subscribe to a Luca having a football brain. That is clear every time you see him on a football pitch.
Yeah. He reads the game really well, doesn't he? There's no guarantee, by the way, that we'll play these tactics next season. Once he gets in players that he actually identifies himself, might see a completely different formation.
I disagree. I think with the recruitment and the analysis now, and we heard that in the Warne and Watson interview with McKenna.
Danny,
that they're looking.
Is McKenna really doing all that great? Well, he's averaging, Danny, 2 points a game, 12 games, 24 points. What more do you actually want the manager to do?
Have them win every game.
Really?
Win every game. I think he's doing great. Yeah, honestly, yeah.
He's doing great. Yeah, absolutely. We weren't doing very well, which is why Cook got the heave home.
And I'm known as Guillotine Gov. And I think he's doing all right.
Apart from when your namesake was in charge.
You can't sack a Lambert. A Lambert can't be sacking a Lambert. That's not good for the family business. That really isn't. You don't be. Lamberts look after Lamberts. Well, unless related by blood.
You can't say, look who we've played, because that's nonsense saying that. Look who we played under Cook at the start of the season. How many points did we get then, Danny? 2 points from 8 games, was it?
I think you're focused on the wrong questions here, because Mike the Fisherman says Bond can score goals but lacks a footballing brain. I disagree with that. And the big chances missed would go with me, because he is 3rd or 4th now in the division in big chances missed. That to me tells me he's reading the game well and getting the positions. He just can't finish his dinner. Simple as that.
No, I'd agree with that. I mean, his first 2 months of the season shows you what a good player he is. For whatever reason, we've just not seen it since end of October, November onwards, unfortunately for us, because it'd be great if he could sign for us and represent the fans on the pitch, which we all love. But it just looks like it's pretty
your lad, you're the agent for Backinson. Your lad put a great ball in the box. The only person who read that ball was Macaulay Bonne.
Yeah.
It was a great moment. Guillotine wanted Cook gone last season when he brought on Stephen Wood. I fucking did. It still irks me. That was Fleetwood. I'm sure it was.
That was Kenlock. It was Kenlock he brought on.
It was Ken.
Skews. And Skews came out of nowhere.
I remember that game.
I actually wrote an article. I actually wrote an article on bringing Miles Kenlock on. I was that incensed by it.
Kenlock went for a little purple patch. He did all right, didn't he?
Well, there you go. Paul Cook was right all along, because he's now at Colchester banging the goals in. So what little did I know?
Yeah, League Two's the level, isn't it?
Right. Score predictions for tomorrow, then, gentlemen. Cruncher.
1-0 Town victory.
1-0 Town victory. Okay. I would say I'll do a late fans react show for you, but I've got Neil coming for dinner, so I can't. But will you be phoning into 5 Live to hear Chris Sutton purr down the phone about how it's not going as well for Town?
On the way home? Possibly not, when we're still sitting 9th in League One.
I'll leave it this way.
I think I might wait. Keep it on the back burner.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Matt.
Well, I mean, I've got. You remember we went through all the fixtures on one of the Sunday shows, didn't we? And we said what we thought was it 3 points, a loss, a 1 point. I put a draw. I put back-to-back draws, Morecambe and Fleetwood. So I'm going to go with 1-1 again. Probably. I mean, look, they scored goals last week, didn't they? But obviously there was defensive frailties. Shock. Toto was playing. Yeah. They went from 3-1 to 3-0, I think, to 3-3. I know Toto didn't play in the week. Maybe he'll be back this week. I don't know. 1-1, and probably Ellis Harrison will score against us. That's my prediction.
Are we still paying the instalments off on that deal?
He gave a good rep, didn't he, Ellis Harrison? I mean, I've gone with Clark Johnson Harris, whatever it is. The Peterborough lad. They were a duo, weren't they, at Bristol Rovers? Johnson Clark Harris. I can never get that right. Johnson Clark Harris. That's his name.
Would he be worth someone looking at next season?
Maybe. I mean, he's got what? He scored 30 goals in their promotion season. Got 5 this season. So Championship's obviously too big for him. But he's done it. League One, he's done it.
I want players who can carry it in the Championship, because that's where we're going next year or the year after. So
players who can get us out of this league first. Let's not run before we can walk.
Yeah.
We may not do a Howard Wilkinson and just completely change the team in the summer. Once promotion's been
Wilkinson.
He did that, didn't he, at Leeds? Didn't he?
That's going back, 30 years ago?
I know. Some people thinking down there for
Premier League wasn't even a thing back then.
It wasn't. It's probably the old First Division.
He won it, didn't he? He won the last First Division. He won it, didn't he? That old trophy, Matt.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, they run it. The last season's Division 1, wasn't it?
Yeah. Fleetwood are also struggling for strikers tomorrow, so 0-0 is incoming. Right, we're live tomorrow, 1:50. Cruncher will be there. Join myself, Ben, and Coxie. But until tomorrow, hope you've enjoyed the show. Safe drive up if you're listening in the car.
Get in your fucking cars. Get to the game.
I won't be going.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning.
A last minute £5 from ST for all the hard work delegation up the town. Thank you very much, ST. That came in last minute, but I wanted to say a huge thank you to you. Appreciate that.
We're on a journey, looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us